Good morning, students. How are you? I hope all you are fine. So, in past video, you learned about Mughal kings, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. So now let's go ahead about the social life of Mughal age. How were the social life of Mughal era? Let's see. Society was based on feudal system during Mughal era. Now the question is, what is feudal system? Feudal system refers to जागीरदारी सिस्टम. फ्यूडल सिस्टम का मतलब है जागीरदारी प्रथा. और ये क्या है, क्या थी इन मुगल एम्पायर? सो ड्यूरिंग द मुगल पीरियड द जागीरदारी feudal system flourished, under which Mughal rulers awarded Jagir. Jagir means लैंड यानी ज़मीन. मुग़ल एम्पायर में जो ऑफिसर्स, उनके मंत्री जो भी काम करते थे, उनको सैलरी के बजाय जागीर यानी ज़मीन दी जाती थी अच्छा काम करने पर. लैंडेड प्रॉपर्टी टू देयर नोबल्स ऑफिसर इंस्टेड ऑफ पेइंग देम रेगुलर सैलरी. हाउएवर, Jagir was neither hereditary nor permanently awarded to them. These nobles and officers were transferred from one place to another place. Likewise, in their new place of appointment, a Jagir was transferred to them. This is usually made them more powerful एंड रिचर दैन द लोकल्स. यानी कि जो वहाँ का पे ट्रांसफ़र होके जाए तो उनकी जागीर भी वहाँ पे ट्रांसफ़र कर दी जाती थी. तो दैट वाज द फ्यूडल सिस्टम ड्यूरिंग द मुगल एरा. द किंग एंड हिज कॉर्टियर लेड अ लाइफ ऑफ प्लेजर एंड लग्जरी. द एम्परर्स एंड आमिर्स were found of expensive cloth and jewelry. Abu Fazl has written that about 1,000 expensive garments used to be made for emperor every year. Abu Fazl book name was Ain-e-Akbari. In Ain-e-Akbari, Abu Fazl written about the various Mughal kings and their courtiers, what they were. They were expensive garment, and for the king, every year expensive garment made for him. During this time, Gujarati traders conducted business on a large scale, and large volume of goods were imported and exported from ports of Gujarat. And in the Mughal era, गुजरात भी एक काफ़ी प्रसिद्धि समृद्ध स्टेट हुआ करता था और काफ़ी सारे गुड्स यहाँ पे इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट गुजरात के बंदर से किए जाते थे. फेस्टिवल्स वेर सेलिब्रेटेड विद लॉट ऑफ पॉम्प एंड ग्रांडिनर. काफ़ी सारे फेस्टिवल भी बड़े अच्छी तरीके से वो मनाए जाते थे. ड्यूरिंग जहांगीर्स रेन, दशहरा वॉज सेलिब्रेटेड इन अ ग्रैंड मैनर. और जहांगीर के टाइम पे दशहरा बड़ा ही धूमधाम से मनाया जाता था. फॉरेनर्स डिड नॉट हैव अ राइट टू टेक अवे वेल्थ फ्रॉम इंडिया. और जो बाहर से जो आते थे उनको यहाँ से कुछ भी ले जाने की अनुमति नहीं थी. देन द इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन, यानी कि मुग़ल शासन में उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति, उनका इनकम का ज़रिया, वो लोग कैसे जीते थे, अपना जीवन यापन कैसे करते थे। जैसे कि आज हम अपना जीवन यापन कैसे करते हैं, हमारी एक निश्चित आय होती है और इसी निश्चित आय पे हम जीते हैं। तो हम देखते हैं कि इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन ऑफ द मुगल एरा, वी कैन नो अबाउट द इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन prevalent during the Mughal era from Abu Fazl's books Ain Akbari. At that time 55.5 ratal, here ratal means old unit of man weight, old units of weight, 55.5 ratal was equal to 1 man, equal to 1 man. That was the unit of money. Then other goods like, other things like shawl from Lahore, shawls जो थी वो लाहौर से आती थी, duris from फतेहपुर सिकरी, cotton cloth from Gujarat. Even Gujarat was foremost productive place at that time for cotton, and Dhaka's Muslim were very famous and popular products. Goods were exported and imported from Khambat. Khambat means in Gujarat, Surat, Bharuch and many parts of Bengal, in present time Calcutta. Village were self-reliant at that time. वहाँ के जो गांव थे वो सेल्फ रिलायंट यानी अपने आत्मनिर्भर थे. Villagers themselves produced most of the goods that they require. यानी गांव वाले जो थे उनकी जो भी ज़रूरतें होती है वो अपनी सेवाएं खुद करते थे और उत्पादन भी खुद करते थे और अपनी ज़रूरत भी खुद पूरी करते थे. ये थी इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस ऑफ द मुगल एम्पायर. नाउ देन एक्टिविटी, get information about the way in which the festival were celebrated in your village, city 30 years ago. Find about the product made in your village, city that do not have to be imported. You have to write 2 activity. Then art and literature of the Mughal Empire. Most of the art and literature were literatures were good enough in Shah Jahan's period. Now let's see one video about the architecture, art and literature about the Mughal period.
About monuments built by the Mughal rulers. The Mughal dynasty ruled India for almost 200 years. The story of its glorious reign is told by the relics of monuments built by the great Mughal emperors, who developed a new genre of architectural construction that combined Islamic, Persian and Indian elements. The Mughals built a variety of monuments, both religious and secular. Religious architecture built by the Mughals include mausoleums such as Humayun's tomb at Delhi and Taj Mahal at Agra, and mosques such as the Jama Masjid at Delhi. Secular architecture comprises of forts such as the Red Fort in Delhi. An integral monument to the Mughals is the Humayun's tomb at Delhi. The building is located in the center of a garden. The building stands on a plinth and is constructed of red sandstone with inlay decorations in white marble. The garden follows the Chahar Bagh pattern. In this pattern, the garden is divided into 4 quadrants separated by artificial waterways. This pattern was introduced by the first Mughal emperor Babur. A Chahar Bagh is usually located on a river bank. The tomb of Humayun is placed in the central hall of the building and is surrounded by 8 rooms. The architectural plan of the building is based on the principle of Hasht Behisht, literally meaning 8 paradises. The Taj complex at Agra closely follows an architectural style similar to the Humayun's tomb. The complex is entered through the Darwaza-e-Rawza, or the Great Gateway. The complex is decorated by an enormous garden laid in a variation of classical Jeharbagh pattern called the riverfront pattern. Of all the buildings of the Taj complex, the most magnificent is the mausoleum. The mausoleum is made entirely of white marble. It stands on a plinth and is flanked by minarets on 4 sides. The exterior of the building is flanked by pishtaks, which are arched recesses. The walls of the building are decorated with pietra dura inlays, which is a characteristic trait of Mughal architecture. This is a technique of gluing cut-colored precious and semi-precious stones into fittings. On the exterior, the domical roof is surrounded by smaller elevated domes or chhatris on all sides. The main dome is topped by a gold finial. The principal mosque of Delhi, the Jama Masjid, was built by the 5th Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The mosque has 3 entrances on the east, north and the south respectively. Each of the entrances has an ornamented facade leading to the courtyard in front of the mosque. The mosque faces the Qibla, or the direction that Muslims need to face while praying. The entire structure is constructed of marble and sandstone. The roof of the mosque is tarred with 3 domes. On both its corners are 2 lofty minarets. The Lal Qila, the Red Fort, was built by Emperor Shah Jahan in the city of Shahjahanabad, now Old Delhi. The fort lies along the Yamuna River at the eastern edge of Shahjahanabad. It acquires its name after the massive red sandstone fence surrounding it. The Diwan-e-Khas is an important building of the Red Fort. It was a place where ministerial and elite gatherings took place. It's built of white marble. Close to the Diwan-e-Khas is the Diwan-e-Am, which was a place that the emperor used for public gatherings. An ornate throne of the emperor is placed at the Diwan-e-Am. This throne is decorated with pietra dura inlays. The Diwan-e-Am and the Diwan-e-Khas are also called Chihel Sultan, or 40-pillared halls. As the Diwan-e-Am was meant to house a large audience, its halls provided a comfortable shelter for the emperor's subjects. The audience halls of the Diwan-e-Am and Diwan-e-Khas were constructed in the same fashion as a mosque. The audience halls faced the throne, which was symbolic of the Qibla. This architectural pattern was used to reinforce the idea of divine incarnation that most Mughal emperor claimed for themselves. Let's recall what you've learned. The Mughals built a variety of monuments, both religious and secular. The religious architecture built by the Mughals includes mosques and mausoleums, such as the Humayun's tomb in Delhi and Taj Mahal at Agra. Secular architecture comprises of forts such as the Red Fort in Delhi. An integral monument to the Mughals is the Humayun's tomb in Delhi. The building is located in the center of a garden.
So, this was the art and architectures during the Mughal era. The Mughal rulers were very fond of grand palaces. Hindu style of architectural decoration merged with Islamic style. Have you seen in the Taj Mahal? Constructing places and domes. Shah Jahan built many renovated monuments and it's known as a constructor of places. He also patronized many artists and so encouraged art. The Rajput rulers were very fond of paintings and so patronized the art of the painting. Jahangir was too fond of collecting paintings. The Mughal era is considered to be a peaceful period on the whole. It was favorable time for the development of literature and Sanskrit books were translated. ने उस टाइम पे संस्कृत की बुक जो थी वो भी ट्रांसलेटर होती थी. Historical volumes were written and Hindi literature received patronage. The dohas of Kabir and Rahim and Sakhi become famous. संत कबीर या रहीम के दोहे जो होते थे उस टाइम पे भी काफ़ी फेमस थे. रसखान एंड डिसिपाइल ऑफ वैष्णव आचार्य विट्ठलनाथ जी composed Hindi poetry. Many foreign travelers came to India during this period. They have described the state administrative system and the common life of the people of the travelonge. Two French travelers, Tavernier and Bernier, visited India during that time. Supposed to be asked in exam, which two traveler visited India during the Mughal era? French traveler. From which country? France. Of them, Bernier lived in India for 12 years. He also observed that Mughal rulers used to spend great sum of the army. और उसने आर्मी में भी अपने सेवा दी थी. He has also mentioned appreciably that Indian textile were very famous in the market of Europe and Asia. और उसने ये भी क्या है मेंशन किया है कि उस टाइम पे इंडिया का जो मार्केट था टेक्सटाइल मार्केट, कपड़ा मार्केट, वो यूरोप और एशिया में भी काफ़ी फैला हुआ था. इन द प्रेजेंट टाइम द परसेंटेज ऑफ द बजट इज अलॉटेड आर्मी इन आवर कंट्री. थिंक अबाउट इट. Why are short verses like Doha and Saki popular among the people? Think about it. Now then see the downfall of the Mughal era. Shah Jahan's reign can be considered as the golden age of Mughal empire, because during the Shah Jahan's period many architecture and literature were very developed in Shah Jahan's reign. One can say that the downfall of the Mughal empire started in the later years Shah Jahan's, just because of the Aurangzeb's policy were too proved fatal. औरंगजेब जो था, जो काफ़ी क्रूअल शासक हुआ करता था, उसकी नीतियों के कारण ही मुग़ल एम्पायर का डाउनफॉल हुआ. औरंगजेब स्ट्रगल कंटिन्यूसली अमॉन्ग दिस द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विथ वीर दुर्गादास. We have seen in the past video, maximum 25 years with Durgadas fought with the Aurangzeb. In the north and Maratha Kesari Shivaji in the south are noteworthy. और उसके एक और भी थे हमारे भारत के वीर सपूत केसरी शिवाजी मराठा साम्राज्य के, उनके साथ भी काफ़ी संघर्ष हुआ और इन दोनों के कारण ही मुग़ल साम्राज्य का डाउनफॉल होने शुरू हुआ. तो आइए हम उन वीर योद्धाओं के बारे में जानते हैं. वो है एक वीर दुर्गादास एंड मराठा साम्राज्य के वीर सपूत शिवाजी राव. नाउ वीर दुर्गादास, आफ्टर द डिमाइज ऑफ द किंग ऑफ जोधपुर एज ही इज क्वीन and her son were under the threat of Mughal rulers, Veer Durgadas sheltered them at a safe place. After that, with the help of loyal soldiers, he protected Marwar's independence for 25 years. Aurangzeb was unsuccessful in dealing with their strategy of launching surprise attacks and had to ultimately reconcile with the Rajput. और राजपूत जो थे उनको हराने में भी काफ़ी मुश्किलें आई थी जहांगीर को. हियर द पिक्चर ऑफ कोरोनेशन सेरेमनी ऑफ शिवाजी, यानी कि शिवाजी का राज्याभिषेक, शिवाजी का राज्याभिषेक। तो देखेंगे हम शिवाजी के बारे में, अभी पढ़ेंगे। छत्रपति शिवाजी कंसिडर्ड अ पावरफुल किंग इन मराठा साम्राज्य, मराठा एम्पायर। एज अ consequence of Aurangzeb's policy, many kingdoms revolted against him. Many kingdoms revolted against him, and one of them, Maratha kingdom, was amongst them. The Maratha Sardar, chiefest who worked for Bahmani Sultanate, enjoyed Jagirs. Bahmani Sultanate enjoyed Jagirs, large land holdings, but the need to establish an independent and strong Maratha kingdom arose with the emergence of Shahji Bhosle, the brave and capable leader. Later, Shivaji Maharaj, his son, took the over of mantle of the Maratha kingdom. Shivaji Bhosle was born in 1630 CE Common Era in Shivneri Fort. Shivaji Bhosle, the full name of Chhatrapati Shivaji, in Shivneri Fort, where he was born. Shivaji Maharaj born in Shivneri Fort. He was raised by his mother. Mother name is Jijabai, and the mentor Dadoji Khando. He was mentor यानी कि उनके गुरु, सिखाने वाले, उनको शिक्षित किया था उन्होंने, दादोजी ने। He dreamt of establishing a small and an independent kingdom at Pune. उन्होंने अपना पूर्ण स्वतंत्र राज्य पूना में बसाया था। He inherited his self-respect, fearlessness and brilliance from his mother and learnt the intricacies of the administrative policy from his grandfather. He was fortunate enough to have a good friend like Tanhaji. Have you seen the latest movie of Tanhaji? I recommend you to see that Tanhaji movie. He was very good friend of Shivaji Maharaj, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Gradually, he expanded his army, and the tender of age of 16, he started capturing fort. 16 साल की एज में ही उन्होंने लड़ाई शुरू कर दी थी। तोरणा, चक्कान, सिंहगढ़, पुंदेर were some of the fort captured by him. This was the fort. Supposed to be asked in exam, which fort captured by him? Toran, Chakan, Sighad, Purandar were some of the fort captured by him. शिवाजी वॉज कोरोनेटेड 1674 CE और उनका राज्याभिषेक 1674 में हुआ था। आफ्टर several confrontations with the sultanates of Bijapur and the Mughals of Delhi, he worked hard to establish a smooth and efficient administrative system. He formed a cabinet of 8 ministers for a proper administration of the state. अपने राज्य को अच्छा चलाने के लिए उन्होंने 8 मिनिस्टर्स नियुक्त किए थे। Now, end of the Mughal rule. The Mughal army was tired of waging war against the Marathas in south 25 long years. At last, Aurangzeb decided to retreat towards the north. He had also become old by that time. काफ़ी बूढ़ा हो चुका था वो। After his demise, the decline of the Mughal Empire began. और उसके बाद औरंगजेब के बाद मुगल एम्पायर का डाउनफॉल होना शुरू हो गया। कंटिन्यूस स्ट्रगल के बाद स्ट्रगल फॉर द थ्रोन ब्रोक आउट. देयर वॉज नो कैपेबल रूलर हु कुड कीप एवरीबडी टुगेदर. और उसके बाद ऐसा कोई शासक नहीं था जो मुगल एम्पायर की बागडोर संभाल सके. औरंगजेब्स नैरो माइंडेड पॉलिसी वेर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द एंड ऑफ द मुगल एम्पायर. औरंगजेब की जो पॉलिसीज थी अपने राज्य चलाने की वो बहुत ही नेगेटिव थी, नैरो माइंडेड थी, संकुचित थी, इसीलिए उस मुगल एम्पायर का एंड हुआ. द मुगल एम्पायर विच वॉज एस्टाब्लिश्ड इन 1526. रिमेंबर दिस ईयर 1526 started declining from 1707 CE. The empire set up by Babur extended most of India in Aurangzeb's time, and during his reign itself started declining. Discuss about Mughal Empire on the basis of the points given in 6.7. Now read and discuss with the help of the map. Find out the extension of. I have already shown in past chapter number 4 video the extension of the Mughal Empire. So you have to note down and write down how far extended of Mughal Empire. With the help of the map, find out about the extension of Mughal Empire during Aurangzeb rule. Among the Mughal rulers who extended empire of most during his reign, during whose reign did the downfall and the Mughal Empire began? This question you have to write and read and think about it, and with the help of the historical map, find out from internet and various sources of books. Okay, now I hope you understand. We will meet you again and read this lesson again and again for your better understanding. I hope all you understand. Thank you so much.